Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, dear listeners, hello everyone. I am a teacher Fu Heling. Thank you for watching again Surprised Universe. Today I want to say, so that we surprise the topic, is a legend. This person is called Tesla. This is called Tesla. You see, he is my title. Why do I use English to write on Chinese writing below it? Because the English, we can be found a lot of information, the relatively poor Chinese data, but very, very much information in English, behind the scarlet letter, master closest to God. Why? Because you see things he invented. What is the role of the time cannot afford to, but more to the future. You find more and more of his stuff. Greater and greater practical value. He is number 10 in July 1856 born. Died on January 7, 1943. Then 86 years old. He is a Serbian-American inventor. Because he was later naturalized American, 35-year-old naturalized in the United States, is a physicist, mechanical engineer. It should be said that the electrical and mechanical engineer, because he studied motor engine research, should be regarded as a mechanical and electrical engineer, the most important, followed by the phrase, meanwhile, the father of the future scientists of light. He is very good at using light. Very good in front of the public. His performance characteristics. This is his 3 photos. One is in Croatia. Why write it Croatia? Now called Croatia. Reborn when he called Yugoslavia. So when he died. In the above 2 flags, one is the American flag, draw A. One is draw a flag of Yugoslavia. Now called Croatia. The middle is 24-year-old Tesla. Then the far right in 1931. He was 75 years old. He went Time magazine. He was the cover. He has from the radio to the robot. Then radar. And behind that sentence, all things unrecognized inspiration. As long as something is your future, he has inspired, has been described as a talented crazy. Here is his invention. One of several items. Fluorescent X-ray electron microscope. Microwave communications, satellite communications, solar missile, computer cars, tachometer, TV. Their VTOL aircraft radar. There is a jet engine. 1931 Time magazine. The requirements for this Einstein. Einstein smaller than his 20s, but he also became famous. So he asked Einstein in 1931. Asked him to write a commentary on Tesla. Then he politely responded, he said, as the field of high-frequency current outstanding pioneer, I congratulate the work of your life. Has made great achievements. It's that simple. But that's his point. But there is a point of view behind his, everyone to see. He was 23 years old, Einstein large. He is 1879. Einstein born 1879. He was born in 1856. That Einstein was once asked. This English in the upper right. How to become the world's most intelligent people. Einstein replied that I do not know. But you can ask about Tesla. Said he also believes that Tesla should be regarded as a very smartest people. Where is his place in it? All of you look at this. I placed a red dot of his position. In Europe. In Europe. Croatia, see no Europe. He was born in that place. This photo was taken April 23, 1921. No. Einstein RCA. A radio society in New York. Do a tour of speech. Then finished later. He took a picture with all participants. The inside of each person are wonderful people. We do not have time. We look, I have 2 blue arrows. The middle of the Einstein. Behind him is Tesla. Of course, some people say that is not Tesla, but I think this looks like Tesla. So I took this photo. His disadvantage is he do not care about money with the law. This is the Achilles heel of his life. Many electronics companies know his faults. It sent a lot of lawyers articulate. Took most of his patent. Then number 7 January 1943, so he was very poor. In poverty. Even the doctor did not have money to see a doctor. He finally died when the chest pain. Pain on the door after him. Room posted a do not disturb. The next day is that sweeping people. A knock on the door to see how he does not get up, had died in it. That is achievements it. At that time is not too many people know. in addition to the US military, in addition to FBI, but in the 20th century, 90 years. He only appeared in the world. At the same time, recognized the world. You are asked to go to the United States. Tesla. We all know what Tesla car. Elon Musk. Slowly but gradually. His talent has been gradually recognized. And more time to move forward when his reputation will become increasingly large. He has a photographic memory. He stands 188 centimeters high. His attention never forget that behind the words. He slept only 2 hours a day, and when he experiments, he does not like deduction on paper. Because I'll come back. He has a very special ability. Then he described this. Friends describe him courtly, so there he was this girl group. He is very popular. But he did not like the smell of perfume. A young man likes to play chess. Old age. In New York City Library. The little park behind. That small park I have been to, not great. New York City Library is a very famous building. What is he doing behind the municipal library? He feeding pigeons. Once he was a taxi hit a bit. After it hit, his body is deteriorating. Most are almost on top of the bed. Finally, lonely death in a hotel. In particular, I want to say this. He has a great feature. I gave him the brain called the day vision. He has the ability to view inside the brain of an ant. I was behind a virtual reality. He was a singular force. He is small, it is very talented in mathematics. His mind will be calculated, and the more troublesome thing he calculated the sooner. And a rub on the erased eraser. He has no way to control this. So we can pay attention to see. I have the scarlet letter. He just thought of a thing. Look to the right of the chart. He'll be able to do this stuff out. Put it here. There are software called the Pro-E. This has a Pro-E that you can get to see the inside of the structure. You can also see the construction outside. At the same time, after you put the picture out, you can make a round with Pro-E. Called Pro-E, but he does not need these things. Tesla inside the brain, all at once synthetic 3D. He could think of a thing to make a 3D, so he saved a lot of things. If he thought a body, he put it on the outside appear. It features its appearance. That is what we now call Zeitung. We use mathematical models to simulate. Then things out he did not need. He just wanted to come out a brain. This is his second feature. Sophomore year he had a serious illness. After completion of serious illness, his brain is like a lens, like. I remember seeing something right away. 1882. He was a telephone company in Europe. Engineer. Began to show talent. In fact, he was very young. He will be able to split things, can do the calculation. Has gone beyond his age, has the ability. As a sophomore, when he entered the University of Verbal Exchanges with teachers inside. For the motor generator when they are some of the technical problems. He said he told the teacher. I say that this problem can be solved AC. Just for this issue. He was a dispute with the teacher. Later, he is not altogether a school. Not to study after he began to gamble. After gambling slowly. He told the book more and more out of touch. But he's the wisdom of his properties. As well as his talent. Let him into the phone company. Because his mother was an inventor. His father was a clergyman. His mother was an inventor. Maybe inherited his mother's. In 1882, 26 years old, he arrived in Paris, then into Edison's company. Then into the Edison company after 2 years. He began to apply. Edison Company of New York to the United States headquarters. That is America's singular predecessor. It is called in English, General Electronic Company. General Electric Company. Which is now America's singular company. This is very critical of this man is his. Think he's talent. A very critical person. He wanted to know what the people know what is. This was his boss in Europe. So he 1884 to 1886 yen. His work in the European company. This is Europe. Edison branch. His employer called to checks bachelor. Bachelor. This man is just a close friend of Edison. European head of the company. This photo books are not generally on. I was looking down from the many foreign magazines, and he wrote a letter to Tesla. He said, I know 2 great men. Great person. How about you? He said, you are one of Edison. Another is that this young man, when he went to New York, again is this letter. Him only 4 cents. Again is this letter. Edison course. Because he is a close friend of Edison, immediately hired him, also scheduled. Edison's work machinery company. At that time Edison has a very important question. Because of his DC. His engine there is a problem. There is no way very efficient operation. Tesla results. His DC machine redesign. What effort it took to solve. Note that this sentence, this is a very critical issue. 1886. He found that Edison's company inside. He just sell physical, and he slowly began to pay attention. AC design. Note AC design. Then the inside it. Wait a minute, I'll put a movie called The Current War. This current war. I will tell you the result. People to victory is to Tesla, with Westinghouse. So now the whole world in 1960. The use of his name Tesla. And magnetic induction to define. Your strength is the magnetic field. Tesla named. It's 1960. He was given a special award. In fact, this honor for him. What is not a trivial matter. We can see the back of his accomplishments. Just not to say, he designed it for Edison. Redesigned his right generator. With the right AC with DC. Well, because he is DC, he designed a DC generator. Edison promised to give him time. You just made A. I'll give you $50,000. Tesla believed that this is. The results do come out of it after I'm sorry. Edison did not give him money to go back. Then later said Tesla. Well, you do not forget to give me money. Then you give me a raise really good. 18 was added as long as 25. Sorry, Edison refused. The thing that hurt him very large. Since then he caused. You go your way, I go my way. The most important key is that this slide. Well, I put a map. This figure is A. You can say that is a trademark of Tesla. So 1894. His left hand took a light bulb. Coated fluorescent bulb on. Then the light bulb. You see his hands over the wire. He did not wire. He was used as the radio wave bulb. Energy transfer using radio waves. Let the light bulb power. Then take a frayed conduct electricity in your hand. This is a classic photo. You look at this photo. He is angle of light. He made a very good color. So he is A. Will catch people's attention, very people. No wonder a lot of girls liked him. It's 1894. Look next. This is the most famous example, 1888 Tesla coil. Wait a minute, I will introduce. The Tesla coil is now up to now. I personally feel that the United States are still with him. 1887. He assembled the first induction motor. So he is a mechanical and electrical engineer. So what is the motor? The motor power input is mechanical energy. But what motor? It is then input into electrical power. However, power generation. Output power is. Generator is just the opposite. This is like a windmill power input. The output is then power. So motor with the engine is one of the sides. 1888. His live performances to American Electric Institute. Principal Tesla coil principle. While giving the Westinghouse. Is the owner of Westinghouse saw? So the owner of Westinghouse, the Westinghouse. He told him to invest. Then he talked about. He said, I want to do this alternator. This is the left Westinghouse. This is a very famous person, the U.S. light bulb, a singular company. Westinghouse is A. Both have done bulb, and Westinghouse. The man's daughter very much like Tesla. But then she was too tacky feel Tesla. She did not marry. I want to introduce here Tesla coil. In fact, Tesla coil. Its function is equivalent to a transformer. We all know what transformers. It functions as a transformer in which transformer's function is to adjust your voltage. Low voltage, high voltage. Here you wound coils around a 5 laps. They're wound around a number of turns, 10 turns the more. The higher the voltage change, right? Meanwhile, Tesla coil. He used this principle transformers. He can produce high voltage million volts. Under such a high voltage is then. He produced artificial lightning. This is his specialty, but he does not have our traditional transformer. So I say it is similar to the function of the transformer. He used inductance with capacitance. Generating circuit using a resonant circuit. Oscillation circuit. Let the intermediate circuit voltage shock increase. This is the most important feature of Tesla coil. On the right is his awards from top to bottom. This is a forum. This is his. Above his signature, July 30th, 1891, Tesla, then 35-year-old, to the United States. Established their own laboratories at Fifth Avenue. Why? Since then parted ways with Edison. He used the building to resonate, generate artificial earthquake, and provoke complaints against the police. The more the speed increases resonance. His instrument to amount out. The resonance frequency of the house. Resonance frequency of the house have to find out. I think this structural engineer. Currently we structural engineer. It also cannot do is use analog. Simulation are false. He is not to emulate him to really. He electricity in some places in New York. Lamp is lit. One possibility to do wireless communication. So after that time to 1891. This time. To the United States, Edison parted ways with time. His hotel, called the New Yorker. Next you can see a lot of very strange light. He is engaged in 1893 to 1895. He studied high-frequency alternating current. I just talked about is to produce. With the Tesla coil. With this oscillation circuit principle. Produces millions of volts of alternating current. So because of this very thing he would show. So he 1892-1894. Served in the U.S. electrical engineer. Vice chairman of the Institute. The Institute of Electronics Engineers. If everyone is in school teaching. Especially in the EE. Has a relationship with the electronic IEEE. Is a very famous institute. Now almost famous all over the world. Scientists and engineers are proud to enter the IEEE. Later, he was the Institute of Electrical Engineers. IEEE pioneer. In 1893 he gave a speech. I am following the red. Why do I write this speech? Because this speech have a great effect on later. He said many years later, human machine may at any point in the universe obtain energy. And this energy can drive machine. He spoke of this very important. Oh, the future will not work now. This is right now. Its energy is transmitted from the radio. In 1893 he had to speak out this thing. In 1893 he was also a good thing to do. The thing is, the current war inside. Edison lost the key to the whole. The 1893 World's Fair was held in Chicago. Time is May 1st, 1893. To number 1893 of October 3rd. Tesla got Westinghouse. Westinghouse given money. This is there were two great, very wealthy people invest in high-tech. Called J.P. Morgan. He invested in the Edison. The other is the Westinghouse. The two men then a man hired J.P. Morgan also to invest in his last. This is mentioned again later. That Westinghouse. He helped the Tesla. Won the 1893 World Expo. Lighting lamp with AC 100000. That this movie inside this section. Both of them went to tender. It was found that the Edison company, because he is a DC, his power. There is no waypoint of 100,000 electric bulbs. He said he was sorry to quit. But Tesla said he could. Point of 100,000 bulbs. Let the whole world. Through this fair to the discovery. AC have such a big advantage. This is one of the biggest selling point. Now I will put a few pictures. Then I talk about this inside. The inside when they bid. $1.8 million in bids. Then the case is not successful bid. Later, the 1.8 million plus yards to a 110,100,000, 550,000, 1.8 million plus so much money. Then Westinghouse won this standard. Then used this $390,000 price tag. Fair to light up 100,000 lights. AC. We now look. This is what I want to introduce this. The fair exposition in Chicago. I left two graphs. The popcorn. Popcorn is the origin of this fair. The fair came. Below a blue ribbon beer. Both are in the Chicago Fair. Start things inside. It has become commonplace. So the fair has a past with the future effect. Wrigley chewing gum mint. This is also the time up. This is a present side of Expo. At that time portrait. Below this is the classic according to FIG. On the evening of May 1st, 1893. The United States then President Cleveland personally pressed the button. Chicago was lit fair. More than 27 million people. Enter the door Expo. It said the city called light. At the same time, the 10,002 horsepower AC. The city lit. This is a photo of the scene. Scene photo. My red is called the city of light. Although we know that this white hot light, it benefits from the point of view of energy. Up to no more than 5%. But it shine. Light disproportionate with heat. But it's light. Give us a big shock. This is a good sight. The left too. One by one with the right to the left. All are seen photos. It is very rare. Because in this foreign magazines. Also looking for a long time to find these two pictures. That's when the Chicago Exposition. When 100,000 lights are on. Brightly lit. The world to our eyes. These two pictures clearly seen. To 1897 when he began to study radio transmissions. The inside. I was there in front of two sentences. In 1897 he transferred his side due. Actually found. The basic equation of cosmic ray particles. This equation. I do not know Einstein was there. Because Einstein smaller than his 20s, there is no Einstein. Later, do not see this section. Is not let him have this. Because I do not know the theory of relativity. But he 1897 had already started to build this equation. Inside the brain operation, that can pop it out. Then in 1893 he was in the Missouri. The city of St. Louis on the spot display. Radio transmission signals. Attention please. Everybody knows, now there are books above Marconi. Marconi was a Nobel Prize. But you did not see. He wants more than Marconi as early as 8 years. In 1897 he gained the radio communication technology. Atlantic is not the first past Marconi. Tesla. I'm going to tell the inside story. The Nobel Prize winner in 1909 was Marconi, but 8 years ago he has been made out and applied for a patent. Inside this involves Edison. Under Edison intervention, United States Patent Office, Tesla's patents revoked and delegated to the Marconi. When Tesla died in 1943, because he reported to the U.S. Supreme Court. Tesla died when Supreme Court ruling. Marconi infringes on the rights of others not accused. This right is given Tesla. Also his innocence, so we know. But now the books have not changed. Since 1909, he has been awarded the Nobel Prize out. You cannot recover. This is radio. 1917 radar. He was back in 1917 when Tesla just raised U.S. Navy. He felt that German submarines, not easy to find. You have to find a way to. He wanted to help, and he invented the radar. The first prototype radar, but Edison. In the Naval Research Center. He's very relationship. Sorry, strongly opposed Tesla. The idea of using energy wave. So then delayed for 18 years. Until 1935. Only by British Watson. Radar out this invention. Talked about Edison. We know. Said Edison light bulb invention. In fact, he invented the light bulb is not. Edison light bulb just improved. At the same time get the lamp patent. Very important point. In addition, I speak like what? Nor is the invention of the steam engine. What steam engine is improved? He invented a pacer. So now we all thought. What invented the steam engine is not right. The Galileo again. It was wrong to invent the telescope in 1609. The Galileo is improved telescope. The real telescope is a Dutch invention. So the inside, the few important inventions, internet stuff. Sometimes you can take a look at, but you cannot believe everything. Underneath 1892, X-ray Tesla invention. He Röntgen in 1895, then 3 years earlier. It is the right of this instance his hand. His hand on X-ray. Tesla says the hand X-ray photographs. This is his hand. He said that this thing is very dangerous, so he warned refused to implement medical experiments. Because he felt very dangerous. But Edison, you say I'm dangerous happens to do. He is against the spirit of the enemy of my support. Desperately to do X-ray medical experiments. Finally, long-term exposure to radiation. Edison's assistant hands were cut off. He himself almost too fast blind. 1898. We know our UAV unmanned aircraft. This unmanned aircraft ancestors in the West is what is Tesla. In 1898 he, at Madison Square Garden in New York inside, once the Appliance Expo, he discloses a radio-controlled boat called the Remote Automation, US Pat. Y'all internet search patent number. He can be found next to the machine. Then the following. This is because he remote delivery remote. So his first successful records. Receiving radio waves from space. Over 100 years ago. He holds a patent on the electric crystals. After this I will have the opportunity to speak specifically. Some say he had contact with aliens. Is this thing? Because he successfully received outer space, radio waves. At the same time he himself had a mighty. So now he has outer space. Contact relations cannot be off. This picture was at that time New Yorker. On the New Yorker magazine. There is a magazine called The New Yorker. There is also a hotel called The New Yorker, the magazine called The New Yorker, which he made a remote control boat. The right is the entity. At that time the boat is left vague in case to go. No wire is a radio control. UAV's predecessor. He made a water conservancy. Water energy into electrical energy. That is hydroelectric. Hydropower plant in Nicaragua. This photo on the right is 1976. Yugoslavia gave New York a statue of Tesla. The statue. When we go to Niagara Falls, see also, then you put the water power plant. Converted into power, 5,000 horsepower. Directly to New York use. Notice Nicaragua to New York. If you change the direct current, is impossible, because the direct current cannot pass so far. No way. He phantom. Relationship with the high-low, to be able to spread farther. That's what he win the war. The most important reason for a current war. Then in 1889 the focus here. He went to Colorado Laboratory. U.S. Air Force Academy is the location. He made a signal in the above. Pikes Peak from this mountaintop. Signal to Paris. Do experiments in electrical communication wires. Then he noticed that the inside. We have ionospheric be able to communicate. Meanwhile underground longitudinal wave with a transverse. Earth itself is a generator. Is a farm. The difference between the two electrodes. Earth can do a lot of battery. He in Colorado. Made a good preparation. He built a very famous called Wardenclyffe Tower. The tower measured resonance frequency Earth. Close to 8 Hz. Later, this is called Schumann resonance. We now scientists, especially now engaged in the biotechnology. Schumann resonance in the steady all day long, 8 Hz. This is the founder of Tesla. Because he is not engaged in an earthquake in New York due, shock, the house shake a head start. Earthquake frequency out of the house. He also engaged in a major earthquake. The earthquake frequency earthquake also came out. His 1898. In New York engaged in an artificial earthquake. Frequency input. Almost to the ground near UAE. On the police thought it was an earthquake. It was found that he was doing experiments. Fortunately, he found early. Later it stopped right. It's 1898. His good friend named Mark Twain. Everybody knows, Mark Twain is his good friend. This is his work at night. 10 o'clock at night, when Mark Twain went to his house for a visit. Then he said to, I made today a good ball lightning. He would live I covered the map. Next to Tesla. Tesla creator so far. Laboratory largest ball made out of lightning. He later this lightning. Scientists use the same equipment remanufacturing. He has not so much. But not so round ball lightning. This person is Mark Twain. Well, this is the classic photo. Tesla believed. Earth is a large rotating magnetic field. It can produce great energy. But you're looking for on the way. You can put its energy in electricity. Earth's magnetic field passes through the surfaces, can directly through the atmosphere. And this energy can be reached anywhere in the world. This is just the main reason he did that tower. This is called the wireless power transfer. This technology now, up to a maximum of the MIT. Just point at MIT car station. Here I get a phone. Below the station lights. Then he can do some distance. Further research is still far. But that time has been conceived Tesla. This is to use wireless transmission. Made out of a photo. He did not hurt a bit below. People inside. The fire blazed out. This is the tower. Later, the tower in Long Island, New York. This hides a lot of amazing stories. Have the opportunity to talk. The tower was later torn down. This tower wireless transfer it. This right is schematic. July 1902. The tower became operational Tesla. But the relationship because of the First World War. It was later forced to dismantle scrapped. The inside story. There is a story of. This sentence is very important. In 1900, when Tesla's dream is to provide free energy for the world. So he built after the Long Island in New York. The sound image transfer without interruption. Then he could use free radio transmission power to do. Then transfer the image transfer sound. Short range. I've just shown a piece of his light bulb. Already seen. With long range through to the tower. But this tower subsequently set aside time out in Long Island. This is very interesting. In 1938, his 81-year-old Tesla. Because a lot of places because he was destitute. Many of his patents are taken away. Because he has no concept of money management. So he did nothing. He will engage in inside the mind to engage in a dynamic theory of gravity. The dynamic theory of gravity. It is said that in any detail are flawless. He hoped that the announcement to the world. His research report. 1938. This is my last word. He was not caused by a gravitational door. Open a wormhole through time and space travel. Important theoretical basis for key 1938. And were not to be published. This information does not know where to go. This is the Tesla design aircraft. We look a lot like UFO. He designed aircraft. He also designed the aircraft would not talk about it. I speak in particular that I just mentioned, from 1938 to 1943 before his death. Tesla Teleforce. I study English. Why Teleforce? Teleforce is a kind of this remote power. This force is the death ray. You can see the remote. The force from that point to another point. No weapons through the middle without any wires. It is in the air and past. This is called death ray. He told the U.S. War Department. That is, the United States Department of Defense to sell, but without success. He proposed rays. Means that a particle. That the U.S. government. The prototype device security did not find. This is the United States government talking about. I told you one thing. Passed away on January 7, 1943. Before he died he already knew. The American president called to see him on January 8th. And that is to talk about death ray. Note that in the second day of his death. No, but he died on January 7th. I am here to talk about. This is based on historical, so he died in 1943 and the study died. He does not like Edison. But the American Society of IEEE Electrical Engineering. Finally, he was awarded a Medal of Honor. Think he is really too great. I do not awarded a medal for you. I'm sorry. And this means that it is a mistaken genius. Why he refused to receive. Edison medal me with his bitter rivals. He was awarded a medal to me I do not. He refused to receive this medal. He was 100 years ago, he sketched out. The impact of wireless communications on human life. He said that when it implemented. New York businessman can in live instruction to London. Or office anywhere in the. He can make a phone call at the front desk. To call anyone on earth. And no need to change the conventional apparatus. The price of a civilian device. Like the size of a watch. It allows users to listen to. Or at sea or on land. Listen to the songs you listen to music ye how. You politicians scientists ye how speech. However, no matter how far the distance. The same reason. I can also transfer photos. I can also pass text. I can also pass paintings. Or publications. Can be from anywhere. Spread to other places. This is what we now email. And we are now smartphones. He was 100 years ago has been seen. And right to tell you. This is his 154-year-old birthday main festival, when this Tesla Museum. In this state of Yugoslavia and Colorado. Both sides in his honor. To do a profile information. I put it provided for your reference. Tesla's death it. Note that all of his patents. Believe that top secret. Contact military FBI. After his death, the military immediately contact the FBI. Tesla died 3 weeks after the note. A professor at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, called John G. Trump. This is a very well-known figure. He established the Rad Lab. There is also a well-known figure. He is now the president of Trump's uncle, Chen Shushu. His mandate to assess Tesla's papers. The results speak his uncle. No scientific discourse. He said there is no secret thing. In reality, that secret thing, in my opinion, the military has been all taken away. His research was declared top secret. Hoover seized him. This time FBI Director Hoover's. FBI long. But after family members. Because of this, Dr. Trump has spoken. He said no scientific discourse. Do not have some scientific discussion. Some documents. So the FBI is no way. In 2016, he was sealed inside. Decrypt all 250 pages of related documents. These data will be Tesla's family. Brought Yugoslavia. The establishment of a science museum. Right is the science museum. Left two famous photo. Trump's uncle is John G. Trump. This is a very great man. He is engaged in control. Radar is also engaged in radio. Very famous at MIT. Let us now put this film. Video. Tesla's current battle with Edison. A good start this dramatic program. A person ordered a lamp. The second generation gas lamp is a lamp. Engage in a particular trick. Then in front of Edison. He said his lamp. What to do. He's able to generate direct current. Then this is. From the outset about the great lamp. Light from the lamp into the gas human. Why do 110 volts? Because light generated by the lamp 110 volts. With gas lamp was very similar. This is Westinghouse. Westinghouse. This is his partner. He had very much hoped to win over Edison. But Edison simply ignored him. He said that we must meet Edison. Westinghouse. The results open train. Is over station stop. Westinghouse over there waiting for him, I'm sorry. Westinghouse over there waiting for him. He did not stop, so he was very proud. So there is no way Westinghouse. He met Tesla. On the use of Tesla's alternating current counter him. This is AC with DC. What place with AC? What place with DC? Drew a map. Then there would bid talk. The Chicago Expo. Result starting bid. After bidding on both sides of the dialogue, the result is no way to lose Edison. Because he could not light up 100,000 lights. But does not travel so far, so buy the house Weston. Tesla with the leadership team took this standard. This is the lamp AC. Tesla made him famous overnight. The most important key. Then the inside. Edison later said that there is no way. He asked him for whom this work. He said he was for idiot. He does things with an idiot. He is described as Edison. That is, the meaning seems to be an idiot, so that they rival sides. Edison then very interesting. In order to prove that he cannot use the AC, he made an electric chair. Man electrocuted by AC. Also electrocuted the elephant. Description AC will have a negative effect. DC is unlike me good results. So we cause Edison's impression of a counter, so as Edison does not actually speak on behalf of. What a king invention. In fact, in business he used a lot of skills. Against his Tesla. Last still no way. AC now. Had a great utility. The electric chair. That tells the story of two men. The most important was also involved. And the beard. The main emphasis, some shopping malls on the relationship between them, and the inside. Mentioned problems have expressed say. Scientists basically. Arrived, but business interests. Well, I have a little note. Genius born in the wrong era, his contribution to science. Life is not married, next to here are 4 women. For he is very interested. He also has a 5th woman, daughter is J.P. Morgan. I'm not on top. He slept only 2 hours a day, but not finished college. It has made more than 700 patents. When he died. There are more than 300 pending patent applications. He gave up the alternating current patent. So he is the father of AC. Meanwhile, when the Nobel Prize winning. Nominated 11 times, finally Nobel say. I say this Nobel Prize. I give a prize to you with Edison. He refused to accept the award and got into a fight on both sides. Nobel said after quarrel. I'm sorry that I do not give too. So he did not get his Nobel Prize. This is his 75th birthday in 1931 when There are 8 Nobel Prize in Physics with his letter to. Congratulations to him, a happy birthday. At his funeral on January 12, 1943. Note no, January 7th died. The funeral was on January 12th, soon time. And there are no strange. We do not know. 3 Nobel winners. On behalf of Nobel's speech with his team. On his coffin covered with the 2 countries with the United States flag of Yugoslavia. Photo rightmost. The far left is the youngest child when he had talent. Split off did watch a little worm of the machine. Then slowly grow. 24-year-old Central Ocean to the United States. Edison's work. Then had anything to do with Edison. Then has continued to do their own AC. Finally, the far right to the death, below that first photo. The New Yorker is living his hotel. And now is a Trust 27 to housing floor 33 he lived. 28271 is his laboratory. Written below it. Nikola Tesla room. Now you can see. This photo is posted on the door. The third picture of a small metal ball. This is his favorite. He was very interested to round things. His ashes placed in this round metal ball inside. And then placed above a marble stud. In Yugoslavia. On the right is one of his epitaph. Is in Yugoslavia. That he's the. Below the ashes of a ball with a licensing legislation. Tesla says it is a number 1 person. Finally, I want to say a picture. This photo can say. Is the portrayal of his own words rightmost. He said my brain is only a receiver. My brain just one receiver. In the universe. There is a core. From which we obtain knowledge. Here's my turn to say. There is a database in the universe. Saves all messages. Saves all messages. We can derive knowledge. Strength inspiration. At the same time gain strength with inspiration from the inside. I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core. He said I did not understand the core of the secret. But I know it exists. But I know it's there. Nikola Tesla. Then the middle of that statue. He is the memorial. Here is the Tesla. To describe the characteristics of the magnetic field intensity. Here is the denominator is. Per unit area suffered. Representative of the magnetic field intensity of the energy is T. Well, this is the life of Nikola Tesla. So finally this photo. Me as a primer. The future may have the opportunity one will talk about. This is in Long Island, New York. It's a big tower. The tower is the communication by radio. And the second day of his death. U.S. President had summoned him. Is to talk about this tower, but unfortunately he died. Very interesting. After he died. All this confiscated after it. FBI people fly. Military transport aircraft. There are 35 people in the explosion above. Air crash. This is when he later died. These materials are not transported to a place to go. Do not know. But I heard about with Tesla. So finally this sentence. A man of God born in the wrong place beyond time and space. But give us AC. Give us energy. Brings us light and heat. Thank you for watching. See you later.